I'm at Millen Trail High School, joined by Patriot senior quarterback Austin Isaacs, our 2018 WOAY Football Player of the Year. Austin, congrats on a great season and congrats on being named our Football Player of the Year.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the start of the season. There was a lot of anticipation for the Patriots because you had so many key contributors coming back. And what was the overall mood entering fall camp and those first few practices?
It was really exciting because our 8th grade year, it was the same group of kids, and we ended up winning a state championship and having an undefeated season, and we were really looking to repeat that, and we felt that we could, and we ended up doing that.
And you guys enter with a lot of motivation because you had reached the Class Single A quarterfinals a year ago with a tough loss in the quarterfinals to Summers County. So how much more did that motivate you to have a strong season because you came close and it didn't end 2017 the way you wanted it to?
That game was a heartbreaker, and I think it really just pushed us because we knew that we were that close to being that good, and we wanted to get there.
And it started off very successfully, though, a couple straight wins, and then you had a situation where week 4 you guys were hosting Richwood. That game was actually on a Wednesday night, so because of all of the rain that was anticipated from Hurricane Florence, how was that in terms of the quick turnaround from playing week 3 on Friday to week 4 on a Wednesday?
It probably helped us out a little bit because instead of having time to think about everything, we just had to do it, and our coaches put in a great game plan, and we kind of, everything we do is fast-paced, and that kind of played for us, not against us, in that week.
Absolutely, and that momentum was able to continue all the way into week 9, for instance. You go on the road to Fayetteville, the final battle of the bridge, and first off, how was it just the atmosphere, getting to experience that, going through warm-ups, because it was the final battle for the bridge?
It was great. We were really pumped up. That's probably the most anticipated, hyped-up game of the year in this area, and we knew that, and going into that game, we knew that there'd be a lot of people there, and we just, instead of letting us scare us, we kind of embraced it, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and it was a great game, too. Fayetteville did have the halftime lead, but you were able to rally in the second half to get the win. What adjustments did you see in that game specifically that allowed you to be successful after halftime?
We do a lot of conditioning, and we always say that the second half is our half, and they proved that this year. I mean, a few times we'd go into halftime not having a big lead or being down, and we'd come out second half just be able to run them over because we were so in shape.
Absolutely, and that schedule, that momentum was able to continue with a 10-0 regular season. How was it? Because the weather wasn't always the best, especially that Week 11 game against Roane County in the mud, but you were able to get that win, a shutout win over the Raiders. How satisfying was it to get that 10-0 regular season and go into playoffs as a number 2 seed?
We really didn't even know what we did at the time. Now looking back on it, it's pretty cool that we did that, but at the time we weren't focused on going 10-0. We took our season week by week, so every week we were 0-0. We didn't really look at what we had done. We were looking at what we were getting ready to do the next week.
Absolutely, and that momentum will continue into the first round of the playoffs. You were the 2 seed at home against Tucker County, a very physical defensive game, and one that you unfortunately did get injured, but the team was able to rally around you. How were the emotions from that?
Going into the game, it was a playoff atmosphere, and that's a lot different than a normal home game, especially to backup quarterback Chris Vines. I mean, he hadn't seen much playing time this year except for whenever we were up on teams late in the second half, but coming into that, I actually FaceTimed him at halftime from the hospital and talked to him and got him calmed down a little bit, and he knows what he's doing, and he's perfectly capable of leading the team.
He was able to lead the Patriots to it was a come-from-behind victory because Tucker County had the lead first through a safety to go up 2-0, but Millen Trail rallying to win 14-2, and then you got to see from a sideline perspective the Sherman game in the quarterfinals. So that was just a great matchup between two really good teams in various ways. What was it in that situation that you were able to see that allowed the Patriots to get the win that night?
Me being on the sidelines, and usually in the game I'm calling every line blocking scheme and all the plays, and I'm setting guys up, and Chris, just without that experience, didn't really know where to put guys, and me being on the sidelines, being able to tell him where to go, where to put the ball, where to put guys, in different situations, what to do. I think that really helped him and boosted his confidence. And once he did score and once he saw what he could do, I didn't have to be there. He was perfectly fine.
Absolutely, and you were able to see the bar raised by reaching the quarterfinals last year. You're able to reach the semifinals this year, but that season did come to an end with the loss to Williamstown. But a game you were able to return for. How was that in terms of just getting the B back out on the field, if only for a few plays?
It was bittersweet because I knew that was pretty much the last time I'd ever be out there, especially with what the score was at the time. But I came in and went over 1,000 yards passing, played 6 plays, and tried to give our guys a boost. The momentum wasn't rolling our way that game.
Yeah, Williamstown would advance to the Super Six, where Wheeling Central would ultimately win the state championship. But bottom line, it was a great season, and it's been a great 4 years. And it's really been a process where you've raised the bar year after year. You go around 5-5 as both a freshman and a sophomore. Last year, you make the quarterfinals. This year, you make the semifinals. What does it mean to you to be a part of that legacy, that you've now raised the bar to where it was when you arrived here at Midland Trail and now as you're leaving?
We just wanted to start a tradition, and we started that back in 7th grade at Ansted. Going to the county championship and losing, and then coming back our 8th grade year and going undefeated and winning. I think that instilled a little bit of pride in our community, and we wanted to keep that going because we saw how much that helped us in football and basketball, in school and everything.
And that's been a big theme for Midland Trail in all sports, as you mentioned, the pride of the community. How much of that, especially this year, played an impact in your guys' success and how you guys were able to rally in different circumstances?
3,000 screaming fans at every home game is pretty good, and then you go up in the quarterfinals and semifinals and pack a WOAY stadium. I mean, that plays a pretty big role in how we perform and how we feel during the game.
It really did. And now is the fun part of the interview where we ask a couple of fun questions. First off, just getting to know your pregame routine a little bit. Do you have a favorite pregame meal, for instance?
I'm so nervous before the games that I can't eat. I usually don't eat the whole day of the game.
At all?
No, I might eat a couple snacks, but usually I'm just drinking water and laying down.
Nice, nice. Are you a post-game meal type of player? Or?
Actually, no. So, like, after the game, my heart's racing, and I'm pumped up that we won, and the only thing that I really eat is sweets, and I'll drink a giant glass of chocolate milk after a game.
Very nice. And what would you say in terms of music to help you get pumped up? Do you have a favorite pregame song that you kind of started listening to this year, or that you've been listening to for several years?
Not really. We usually just whatever it is in the locker room that's playing. Most of the time it's hip-hop, and we'll hoop and holler and jump up and down, and I like that.
Nice. And having been a part of a team that has a lot of key contributors, how has that been, getting to know them over the past few years and how they've grown both as football players and as student athletes in general?
It's really crazy to see how kids change from freshman year to senior year, how much they mature. And the group of kids that I'm with in my grade, I mean, it's a pretty good class, and I'm proud to say that I was part of that class.
Absolutely. And your dad, Frank Isaacs, is the head coach. He was the head coach when you were in middle school. Now he joined when you were a freshman in 2015. How special has that been to just share the last couple of years with him as head coach?
I know that most kids don't get to do that. Around this area anyways, it's mostly just me and my brother that get to experience that, and I'm really grateful for that, because if he wouldn't have been the coach, I probably wouldn't have even played. Probably wouldn't have learned as much football as I did, and I'm really glad I had that.
And it's been a successful football year. You guys are also gearing up for a successful basketball, because you are a multi-sport athlete for the Patriots. What is kind of the big obstacle you face in terms of transition, because it's, switching from football to basketball? That's always a difficult transition to make.
Losing a key player like Noah Minor in basketball, it's really changed the way that we play. We're going to try to run a 5-guard lineup, and just getting in the flow of basketball from football is really hard, especially whenever you go to the semifinals. And I mean, we played our first scrimmage game with 2 practices in, and that kind of hurts us. But in the same time, we have to get done faster, get stuff done faster.
Absolutely, and you have a couple key games coming up this season that are going to be fun to watch, and then before you know it, it's already going to be May. What are the emotions right now as just a senior at high school, knowing that your time in high school is almost coming to an end?
I'm trying to embrace it and have as much fun as I can. I know that these are the last few months of being a kid that I have left, and I'm not too happy about graduating.
But any plans for after high school?
I'm going to attend college and try to play football somewhere, but you never know how basketball's going to go, so I might try to play basketball somewhere. Just all depends. Absolutely.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck. It's been a great season. It's been great following you for these past 4 years, but again, thank you for joining us today. Austin Isaacs, our 2018 WOAY Football Player of the Year. Congrats again.
Thank you.